me. I go really well with my painting. That wasn't planned. I like bright colours. I cannot lie. Um, I, I thought I'd post something today about insomnia because I suffer a lot with really bad sleep. When I can sleep, I've been told that I snore, that I gasp. All these things are symptoms of sleep apnea, apparently. And so, people say, oh, you should lose weight, you should get fit, you won't have sleep apnea anymore, or you should drink less alcohol. But the fact is that I've been like this ever since I was a kid. And I can remember not sleeping and not sleeping and there's a lot of different reasons why. um I like to nap during the day because it kind of switches me off from all the sensory input. Also means I can escape from distressing situations. At night, I kind of like lying awake, listening to bugger all in the dark, apart from my cat scratching at the door. Because that's a whole other story. I'm so glad I don't have kids. I don't think I could put up with that shit. Um, but yeah, but the problem is, if I happen to sleep really badly at whatever reason, and people tell me it's to do with the food, it's to do with the drink, it's to do with the alcohol, and no, it isn't, because I have been always like this. And this is ADHD and sleep are inextricably linked. Oh, I don't know if you heard that, but that was my shoulder cracking. That was another thing I wanted to get into. Um, I have weeks and weeks where my shoulder, it's always this one. I don't know why. I've had MRI scans on it and everything, and I can't find anything wrong with it. But the muscle goes into spasm. It pushes the shoulder blade into my back. My neck just goes completely, and I can't get comfortable at night. So that's another reason that I'm awake all night. Because I'm fidgeting with my pillows. I try to put my weighted blanket over it to try and weigh it down. Hopefully, I might go and get one of those heated cushion things, and then I can smell my hair because I've just dyed my hair and I can smell it, and I feel like it's like oozing out of my pores. If I've had onions, I can feel that. If I have too much salt for dinner, that will keep me awake as well. That will get my heart racing. I'll be sweating. If I have I said onions, haven't I? Yeah, but it's always happened ever since I was a little kid. And there are some physical and sensory things to do with that, but there's also psychological things, like my family used to fight a lot, and my mum and dad, and I would lie awake waiting for it to stop, because sometimes they'd get quite aggressive and barge into my room and start ranting at me for whatever reason. Like, I'm just a kid, what can I do about your marital problems? Fuck off. But yeah, they thought it was perfectly acceptable to bust into my room at whatever time of night and start drunkenly telling me what was all up with their problems and getting all in my face and shit. So I used to lie awake at night waiting for the lights to go off and the noise to die down. And so yeah, that's probably got a lot to do with it as well. And as a result of that, I've developed some really bad habits, like taking too much Nitol, drinking too much alcohol, anything to just block out all the sort of sensory and psychological things that are happening. And again, that's not good for you either. And I'm 50 now, so that whole sort of chemical intake is going to start taking its toll on me at some point. I get restless leg syndrome, which is really, really horrible. One of the things is, like, my mother-in-law bought me a weighted blanket because they said it was good for people with sensory issues. And I tried putting it on my entire body, and my legs just went tingly and cold, and I just couldn't I tried to bear with it, but I just couldn't in the end. So I just fling it off and sort of rolled it up and leaned against it like it was a big pillow. Last night I tried putting it over my shoulder because my shoulders were aching so badly, and it just made me too hot. And then, and I've having to battle with the menopause like this year as well, so I get really hot at night, so I open the window, and then I get really cold, and now I can't close the window because I've got a latch on it to stop the cats opening it, and I can't work out how to undo the latch to close it again, so now it's just permanently cold, and maybe that's why my neck's gone funny. But I don't like having things around my neck, but I thought I'd show you this because when this whole issue with masks came about in July, and I struggled with the normal ones, I couldn't stand the plastic ones because they were too crinkly, and they just make everyone look like they're from ICU, and it was too medical. And I'm an artist, so I like really bright colours. And I looked all over the internet to see, and by chance I thought, I'll go to my local cycle shop because they opened after the first lockdown to, well, sell bikes, because like cycling was like one of the things that you could do that was allowed and encouraged. So I went in there and they had a buff, and I don't know if anyone knows what a buff is, but it's kind of like a lycra tube. It's like this, and it's so soft. So I thought, let's get on, because you can hear me perfectly well. You can't see me. I look like a gangster. So I just thought, well, I've got to go on holiday soon. We booked a kind of last minute getaway to Devon once we realised we could travel around and the shops were open. It was all cool. And I got so much flack for not covering my face, even though I've got an exemption, because like even my friends I thought were my nice friends in real life, they were posting all sorts of hateful things on social media about how people who don't wear masks are complete bastards and cunts and all of this. Sorry about that. I might bleep that out. But so I thought, well, thanks very much. But I thought, well, if this is going to cause a lot of trouble, and me being a people pleaser and all of that, I thought, well, I better get something. So I got that one from the cycle shop, and it had Mickey Mouse on it, and I thought, oh, that's quite cute. And then I looked on the internet, and of course there's loads of like Chinese copies of things, like loads cheaper and everything like that. And so I bought this pack of 5 in all different colours, sort of like tie-dye. And because I thought, well, if I have to wear them, I'm going to make them part of my my identity and part of my wardrobe. And I really like bright colours, and these are ever so soft. First few times I wore them, they were new and smelt chemically, and they weren't all that nice. But I think because I wore them on holiday, and I kind of made the association with them, it being part of an adventure and something nice, and allowing me to do the things that I wanted to do, such as, going into touristy shops and things like that. And I didn't want people to feel uncomfortable. And so because I wore these ones on holiday, I didn't feel so bad, and now I've got used to it. I don't like them around my neck, so I'll probably take this off. But I wanted to wear this to show you that, this is an alternative if you don't like covering it, because it's so thin and it's really pretty, and you can just as soon as you walk out the shop, you can just go, and there it is, And also I find the ones that ping on your ears, like they tend to ping off and land on the floor, and that's kind of not hygienic at the best of times. So I've got my hair that smells of chemicals, and so I'm probably going to have a shower later to see if I can get some of that smell out. And this jumper. Now, clothes are also a big issue with me, and cuffs especially. I'm either like pushing them down, pulling them down, pulling them up. I hate those jumpers like at that halfway down or something like that, because I just kind of like, is it up or is it down? I can't decide, and so I can't be doing with that. But this is acrylic, and my friend Jude knitted this for me. I was teaching her how to do pottery, so she knitted me a couple of jumpers a few years ago. I chose the wool myself because I went into the shop and had a feel of it just to make sure that I could cope with it and stuff. And it's been through a few washes and it's shrunk a bit, but now it's perfect because it's kind of like soft and worn and everything now, and I just love this colour pink. And if you can see this, it's got you can't see it. Oh, It's got a stripe. Ooh. So yeah. And this is some of the wool. I'm trying to tidy up in here at the moment. I've got all my sewing shit out. And, yeah, that caused a lot of problems growing up, as you can imagine, with a very emotionally abusive mother who couldn't understand why I wouldn't wear certain clothes and eat certain food, things like that, which means I'm estranged from my family and hardly ever talk to them, because even though I've got an official diagnosis now, they still really don't understand. I don't want to know, and I feel so damaged by them that I really don't want to have anything to do with them anymore. And that sounds really cruel, but you know, people, if they're cruel to you, and they're cruel to you, and they're cruel to you, eventually you're just like, nah, for the good of my health, I'm just not going to go there. So yeah, sensory nightmares, insomnia, itchy clothes, food not so bad, but digesting food quite difficult. Yeah, for a long time when I was a kid, there were certain things I wouldn't eat, and there's a particularly horrible moment that I'm not sure whether I should share this, but I think there might be people in the 70s or 80s who grew up with undiagnosed autism who just might sympathise with this a bit, because it wasn't a thing back then. You were just a naughty child, spoilt or whatever. There was a certain type of tinned luncheon meat. My mum and dad used to go through various phases where they didn't have a lot of money to spend on food, so we had what we were given, because that was what you did. My dad, I'm sure he had ADHD as well. He had periods where he was making money and then he'd start a new venture and it didn't work out, and so on and so forth. We used to call him Del Boyd. Did wind him up a bit, but so then, you know, because I had this thing about textures and tastes and things like that, they got into complete fury with me. And there was one summer's day where we're having salad, and I don't really like salad anyway. I think lettuce is too bitter. I like the crunchiness of it. And my mum bought this like tin of luncheon meat, and I don't know if you've had luncheon meat, but it's like Spam, and I can't eat Spam either. And actually, the real thought of it just makes me feel sick now. But yeah, so she put it in front of us kids, and I said I could smell it. I could smell it, and it just smelled. I can't describe it. It's kind of like salty, but not salty. It's a really weird. I mean, I don't really want to describe it because it actually makes me feel quite sick thinking about it. And I tried to eat it, and I said, I can't eat this because it's making me feel sick. And she said, "Don't be stupid. You're going to stay there until you've finished it all." So I said, I really can't. And my sister was quite a picky eater as well, because she was ill quite a lot of the time, and we tried to get her to eat to put on some weight. So, you know, the last thing my mum wanted was two picky eaters in the house. So she said, "You'll sit there and finish it." So I tried. I really did try. And eventually, I just couldn't stomach it. The flavour, the texture, everything. I just threw it up. And she told me that I was being over dramatic, and she nearly made me eat the sick that I'd just thrown up. She was that adamant that I was going to eat everything that was on my plate. I think it was only the fact that my sister intervened and said, "Look, you know, don't like that's gross." But she would have made me eat the sick. I'm telling you now, she was that furious about me not eating my dinner. She would have made me eat what I just, you know, threw up. That's the kind of that's what you had to live with in the 70s and 80s. It's shit. So yeah, I mean, sometimes I see things on the internet and people are complaining about this and that seems quite minor, and I say, oh, you know, my life was so much worse. But I don't want to compare myself to other people because I don't know what's going on in their real life. You know, I mean, my story time's my story time. My sensory issues are my sensory issues, and I'm taking this off now. So yeah, I can't compare myself to other people, but I'm just saying this is what it was like. So the whole attitude in the 70s and 80s was that if you didn't do what you're told, you're a bad kid, and so that was what I grew up um, being told. So um, and even when I got my diagnosis, I don't think they quite believed it. I pick my fingers a lot as well, which is kind of like a stimming thing that I do when I'm bored or anxious or not not really sure what to do with myself. And also because I don't like dry skin, so I try and pick the dry skin off, and then it just makes worse. I've had a few of my nails actually fall out because the nail beds got septic. But but yeah, that's what it was like, and I um couldn't work in offices because, pardon me, it's going to dry. I haven't had much to eat today. I do apologise. Um, I couldn't work in offices because I couldn't sit still in a chair, and I couldn't, like, the standard office attire is um kind of like a skirt, and then like the waistband would dig into you, and tights and high heels, and any concession to my own comfort was viewed as being difficult, or being abnormal, or looking like a dyke. Yeah, because I did get called that a few times. Just, and then I just couldn't, like, cope with, like, being in an office, being with loud people who were judging you on every little thing. And I know it's going to sound terrible, but I think it is worse for women, because women's clothes are so itchy and scratchy and uncomfortable and body fitting, and it's a complete nightmare. But if you dress the way you want to feel comfortable, that's a no-no. I mean, I really hope that there's employers watching this and realizing that people who come to work dress casual, that might be just the only way that they can dress, because half an hour after putting on something with a collar, and I feel like somebody's garrotting me. I'm not exaggerating. It's really horrible, and I'm glad there's more people with sensory issues coming out and talking about this. And I've been watching a lot of Connor's videos as well, and that's kind of what's given me the bravery to talk about this, really, because I'm just, the more voices that are out there that talk about this and normalise it, the more hopefully accepting the rest of society will be, and just stop giving us a hard time for things that we can't help and can't explain. That's it, really. I'm hoping that tonight I get a decent night's sleep, but I'm not betting on it because it's absolutely stiff as a board. Um, I had acupuncture a couple of times. One time it was so overwhelming that I actually nearly threw up in the acupuncturist's room, and I had to go outside, and I was shaking, and I had to drink water, and I did actually go outside and throw up. I'm not sure what was going on there, but, like, I have tried everything. If massage, yeah, that's all right, but yeah, if you like a stranger touching you, that's okay. But when I get like this, I just often it just, the muscle will tense up and spasm, and it will just go on for days, weeks, and it's exhausting. And I can't do anything because I'm just in so much pain that I literally can't communicate with people. I can't do anything. I was going to go to a Christmas market today because I've been feeling a bit kind of like locked in because of all the tears and everything, all the COVID regulations, everything. And I haven't been able to see any friends or anything. So I thought I'd go to the Christmas market, and if I just happened to bump into someone, that'd be nice, because I've been reduced to talking to strangers in the street, which just makes me look even more crazy, which is lovely. So, but I couldn't, because it just hurt so bad. I just wanted to. I didn't know what to. I don't know what to do with myself. I've been finishing off some crafts projects and things. Take my mind off it, watching Connor's videos, and trying to reassure myself that this will pass, and that nothing's that urgent that it can't be left until I feel a bit better. And just, just got to learn to be gentle with myself, and try and forget about other people's judgments. So if you have any of these kind of like pains and discomforts and things, and you want to comment below, and watch some of Connor's film videos as well. He's much better at talking about this stuff than I am, because he's been on YouTube for a lot longer. That'd be great. And it's just great to know that you're not alone, and if you're on the spectrum, and if you're not, and you've got all these issues, and a diagnosis might be helpful. It will certainly give you a card to flash at people and say, look, I'm disabled and I'm struggling, and just give us a fucking break. There's a swearing again. So yeah. Please do be kind to each other, and don't be cruel. And if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. And if you can't be nice, be somewhere else. That's what I always say. If you can't be nice, be somewhere else, because life's too short to pick on people who are rubbish at defending themselves, and are emotionally vulnerable and exhausted and really don't need your crap. So just hi, and anyone out there with ADHD, Asperger's or autism or whatever you want to call it, and anyone who's been bullied by people who are judgmental and not kind and control freaks, I guess. They want everything done their way. Yeah, because that's a thing that gets leveled at us a lot. We've been told that we're control freaks, and we're not actually. It's the other people who are control freaks. Sorry, guys, but you lot out there, you neurotypicals, you want us to force us to do things that we can't do. Sorry, you're the control freaks, not us. Don't try and control us. Like, we're not dogs. We're human beings, and we've got good things about us, and lots of creativity, and lots of love, and we don't need to be sort of like kicked about like dogs. If you wouldn't treat a dog that way, don't treat anybody that way. That's basically all I'm going to say about that. Just be kind, be lovely. If you're lonely, if Christmas is turning out to be a complete washout because you can't visit anyone, like, you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. Sometimes you're not allowed to see your friends because they're in the wrong tier or the wrong bubble, or I don't know. This is really confusing me. But I know that there's my friends that I get on better with than my family, and I'm allowed to say my family, but I'm not allowed to see my friends, and it's just horrible. So if you're feeling like you need to, reach out and say hi, just leave a comment below. I might do a live stream. I've got the house to myself at the moment for a few weeks. So I've got time to do all of this self-indulgent shite. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you're not one of the people that clicks off after 2.5 minutes because I'm not pretty enough. If you stayed this long, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I love you all. Bye.